Hi everybody. Last year you may remember I did the 100-day project, and I did it I made a homemade concertina or accordion fold album. And it's just simply like this, like it continues. Oops. There you go. It continues on and on and on. And I did all 100 days, like doing the front and the back of all the pages. And I got asked if I did a video making the album, and I did not. So this year, I'm not doing the same thing as in the style on the pages, but I am going to use the same style book. And I'm going to make it, I believe I'm going to make it the same size as well. Oh, it might be a little bit bigger, because I don't want to have to cut anything off the paper. That just creates more work than is necessary. So it's probably going to be about ½ an inch wider. It'll be the same height, but a little bit wider. So for the pages in the album, I am using paper from this paper pad. It's Canson mixed media paper, and it's 14 by 17 inches and 98 pounds. Now, my plan for the 100 days is to sketch. And I think I want all the sketches to kind of run in together. We'll see about that part. Now, because I'm going to be working on the front and back, I need it to be a bit thicker than just regular sketch paper. So that is why I'm going with mixed media. So for this size of paper, I can get 2 strips. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to fold it at 5½ inches, well, every 5½ inches. And I'm going to have ½ an inch left over, which will help me attach it to the next page to create the accordion. So to get, ooh, I think I almost just made a mistake. When I was figuring out the math for my pages, I didn't factor in that I get a front and a back. So I did the math thinking I get 6 pages out of every sheet of paper, when in fact I get 12, because I can work on the back as well. So I should only need half the amount of pages that I thought I did. And I had worked it out that I would need 9 sheets of paper. So that means there's no 4½ sheets, so I should need 5 sheets of paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 1 more sheet. And then I'm just taking this end off. And it's perforated, so it's pretty easy. And I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, so I have my 5 sheets of paper. I'm going to fold them all because I get the feeling like I have to do a front cover and a back cover. So I think I am going to need all of them. I may have to cut like a rectangle or 2 off, but for the most part I think I'm going to need them all. So I think to make this easier, I'm just going to tear them because this paper doesn't fit into any paper cutter I have. Get it this way so I can see my corners better. So I'm just going to fold it in half. I'm going to get a bone folder. I'm going to fold it the other way as well. And this should hopefully make it easier to tear. There we go. And I know one side's going to have a nice crisp edge and the other's going to have a torn edge, but this is just for fun. So I'm going to do that with all 5 sheets. So all the sheets have been torn in half, and now to get an even number of pages, we are going to score them. Ooh, I can use my scoreboard for this, that'll make it easier. Just going to double check to make sure I have it right. So they are 17 inches long. So divide it into 3 gives you 15 with 2 inches left over. So divide that into 3 and you get 1/2 inch each with a 1/2 inch left over, which will help in joining the pages together. So I'm going to score at every 5.5 inches. So 5.5 and 5.5. Oops, my finger was in the way. That's 11. And then do a 1/2 inch. So I'll show you how this one's folded. So it will fold like that with the 1/2 inch. That will allow you to join it to the next page. So I'm going to do that with all the strips of paper. Okay, now all the pages have been folded. So it is time to join them together. I'm just thinking for a second on what I want to use to glue them with. I don't know if I have enough double-sided tape. think I should be okay. So I'm going to use a combo of double-sided tape and glue stick because this isn't going to cover the whole thing, and I'm not doing 2 strips. So double-sided tape and glue stick. I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper for when I'm gluing. So I'm going to start So I think that one is going to be glued to the cover. I don't know. Will I draw on it? I don't think I will. So I don't know. Either way, I'm going to put a strip of tape, and I'm going to go close to the outer edge. I may regret removing the whole piece of paper there. I'm going to add glue stick. And grab the next sheet of paper. And we can always refold if the folds aren't going in the right direction, so don't worry about it. And I'm not worried about if the torn edge is on top on one and on the bottom of the other. I don't really care. So I'm not going to worry about counting the sheets because I'm going to need them all. I can just cut off whatever I don't need. So maybe when we get down to the last 1 or 2, I will then have a look. So I'm adding the strip of tape on the very edge, and then I'm taking the whole thing off and going in with glue stick and just going up to that score, that crease. And then I'm taking my next piece, not with the 1/2 inch, but the other one, and with the glue stick being on top of the double-sided tape, it allows a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm just putting that paper up to the fold, making sure not to go over it, and making sure my edges are lined up. So I'm going to do that for all the pages. And I get the feeling, like this doesn't seem like enough pages to me. So I get the feeling I did my math wrong. And I'm going to need more paper because this really doesn't feel like enough. Like I feel like I used a lot more for last year's project, so I'm sure I did something wrong. I was looking online for Concertina albums, and same thing for 5x8 albums. They were only like, it was watercolor paper, and I didn't want watercolor paper. But anyways, when I was looking for the Concertina ones, they would only be like, I don't know, 16 pages or something. It wouldn't be very many pages at all. And then it was a lot of money, like close to or more money than what it costs to buy a huge paper pad. I'm gonna have that paper pad and have way more paper than I need to make my album. And this way I can make it whatever size I want and have the right number of pages and make my cover however I want. But I just looked because I thought if there's already one available and it wasn't a lot of money, then that's one less thing I have to do. But I am prepping this well in advance. I mean, it's January 21st today, and I don't think the 100-day project starts for maybe another month or so. Last year it was the 22nd of February, I was told. So if it's the same date this year, it's just a month away, and I'll be ready to go. I made my album in advance last year too, because I didn't want that to be another thing I had to stress about first when the challenge was starting. Because last year, oops, I just realized I did all the pages. Last year was my first year doing it, and I was so shocked that I completed it. And I think one of the things that helped was having an album that was dedicated to it and had the amount of pages that I needed for it, and wanting that album to be complete. So hopefully I'll have a second year of success. I was going to do 4x4 canvases first, and I'm still looking at them like I want to do them, but I think that would put a lot of stress on me because that would be a lot of work. Anyways, I'm going to count because it's just the easiest way I know how to check. And I'm going to put little X's to show not to count that. Six. 57, so that gives us 57. I knew it wasn't enough. So we do need more. Okay, all the others are folded. So I'm going to continue joining the pages. So if you are doing 100, the 100-day project, leave a comment down below and tell us what you're doing, and if there's anything you're doing to prep ahead of time for it. Because who knows, like, you may, if somebody else is undecided on what they want to do for theirs, you may give them an idea of what to do, or you may inspire them to just try and do the 100 days, or you might give me an idea for next year. It's just nice to share what we're all doing. Okay, I'm getting close to the end, so I'm going to count the pages again. Let's see if I can count. Let's do it this way. 4, 16. 56. Now I feel like I have too many. 57. Or wait, 56. And that would have to get glued. So then this would be 57. No. 56. And that would be glued to the back. Too I give up. I give up, you guys. I give up. I give up. I give up. I don't really give up, but I need to take a break because, yeah. Oh my. Today is not my day. And it's funny because I felt a little off, like, you know how you have those days where it's like you're not functioning properly? Yeah. So this is a little bit wonky too. Oh my. Oh my. Yep. I'm gonna take a break. Okay, so I had maybe a day and a half, 2 days break from this. Actually, it may have only been 1 day, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's silly how long it took me to figure this out. No, like, I'd get it, I think I'd have it figured out, and then I'd double check and I'd be off. And then I'd do the same thing again and again. So finally I had to pull out last year's journal. And I think I figured out why I kept being off on my count, and like whether or not this should be page 1 or this should be page 1, and what number it ended working on this side and then having to flip. So I always was thinking like this would glue onto the back cover, and then when I get to the last page, like it would be that, like, say this is a page, and this side will get glued to the back cover. Oh, I shouldn't have removed that one. But in last year's book, you get to the last page and it's not like that at all. Like, so the way I was thinking, this back cover would have been glued to the back of here. But I actually have one more fold and it got glued to the back of here. So that kept screwing me up. So I finally have it worked out. And So I even put notes on it because I'm like, I am not fooling around with this. So I have this row that this gets glued onto the back cover, and this is coming off. So I went from not having enough pages to having too many pages to not knowing anything about the pages. I just kept messing it up. And now I can't find my paper trimmer. Oh, I see it. I promise you, I am okay. I really am. I may not seem like I am, but I will be okay. And if this is not the right amount of pages, I don't care. However many pages is in this, this is what I'm doing for my 100-day project. And that's all I have to say. So, should see how many sheets this actually took. And I should write it down and put it in a vault for next year in case I do it. So in here, that's 1 page. I get 2 pages. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I counted that right, it takes 8.5 sheets of paper. Got it? Now if I ask you next year, you can tell me. So now we're going to make a front and back cover for the album. And this should run much more smoothly.